for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gravity Groove. I also go by Eric, or the Fro, or the E. And welcome to Bad Luck Good Games. We're in the middle of a little bit of a rebrand right now because we found out the term we used for our title, NSFW, was a shadow banned term, which means you can use it in YouTube, but it sort of buries you in the algorithm. So we're just going to change that. It's not much of a change. Really, the spirit of the show is watching me get improbably bad draws and dying. And it's supposed to be cathartic for you and painful for me. So there will occasionally be obscenity, but it's not really what the show's about. So I think it works. For those who don't know me at all, I'm a guy who played Magic since basically Revised came out, and made my first Pro Tour in Limited with no training, no coaching, no support, and got a free trip to Hawaii back when that was a thing that could happen, and I was pretty proud of that. That was fun, and it took a long time, probably a year and a half of PTQs where I would, top 8, miss, top 8 and miss, top 8 and miss, get to an RPTQ, top 8 and miss, and then start the cycle over again until I finally got to an RPTQ and then top 8'd and then top 2'd and, Bob's your uncle. I don't know that will ever be a thing we can do as players again. It was nice to have that as a goal that was accessible and incredibly difficult to obtain, but the goal was always get to the Pro Tour on your own merit and get the free trip. And that was always why I kept playing at that level. I wasn't really interested in any other aspect of it. It was really just like climbing the mountain, like you identify Everest and you're like, I'd like to do that before I die. So I did. I did find out that with prolonged exposure to the competitive scene, that I really do not like competitive players. I really do not enjoy the competitive mindset. Competitive players tend to be dicks, pricks, assholes, angle shooters, just generally bad people on the whole. I'd say 80% of them are just fucking garbage people, with a few exceptions. That makes people like, Reed Duke and BBD, when you get to meet them and play against them, stand out that much more because they're not those guys. So, kudos to guys like that for having stuck around and being good examples, but boy, there are a lot of just fucking garbage people and high-level poker players who are just trying to big-time you when you play Magic at that level. It was not fun. So now I just kind of play Arena, and then the thing we will not discuss happened, and Arena became a lot more viable as a means to feed this addiction, or engage with randomized problem solving is what I'll call Magic. It's obviously very random, but it is problem solving. So we're going to look at the decks that we have built here, and we're going to spend 2,000 gold to fire a random bullet and see what deck we might want to shoot at the standard challenge, at least once before it goes away. So we've got Golgari mid, which very much feels like the kind of deck that I like. We have early game stall. We have card draw. We have some win conditions in Lulth and Ren. We also have Valky, who can very often be cast as Tybalt between all the different treasures we make, which is plenty. We have 3 meat hooks and 4 blood on the snows, so we're almost always getting back one of our finishing threats. And then we have a couple critter lands and a couple critter lands, and there you go. This is the kind of deck I generally like to play. I would assume this deck would have decent game against most of the aggro in the format, but there are going to be awkward draws where it probably doesn't line up quite right. The tempo of the green deck dropping the Cadillac on turn 3 and to Ren on turn 4 pretty much devastates all decks and all curves regardless. If we could get our best draw, which I think is generally going to be Shambling Ghost, into Deadly Dispute, double Treasure, and then have, a 5-drop on 3. That's probably our best curve out, but not happening often. At the very least, we might want to do that and then wait until we get the 4th mana. So we have turn 4 Blood in the Snow, or turn 4 Significant Meat Hook Massacre. So I feel like this deck would probably lose to the control decks pretty consistently. We don't really have any good way to attack that deck. They're just waiting for us to cast our good targets. They're counterspelling them, and then we've got 10 cards they need to counterspell. They've got 10 counterspells. We can't win. Then it becomes really creature lands versus creature lands, like who draws theirs and who can engage them more effectively. Our sideboard obviously has some of the lesson plan for our eye twitches. We also have a couple pieces of removal for the early game, a few pieces of hand interaction, a couple more diverse pieces of removal, and a couple Skyclave Shades to potentially help with that control matchup. I don't know that we need 6 lessons. I could see cutting one of those lessons. Since we really only have the 4 eye twitches, I could see cutting one of these for another, like, Skyclave, for example. Maybe to shore up that removal or that control matchup. Or another check for traps. Our removal is mostly board wipes, with the exception of binding. So it could be that we just want another piece of spot removal. We've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. But they're all quite expensive. We could just want like another piece of spot removal. Yeah, 3 is probably good. 3 is probably good. Which of these seems the least useful in terms of tutoring it up? Maybe 2 mascot exhibitions is just not that important. It is the card you want 2 of most often. Containment Breach is just destroying Cadillacs. We'll add another Skyclave. So this is one option. There's, of course, just mono green things, which I replaced some of the Sentinels with Death Bonnet Sprouts. I think I should just replace all of them, honestly. The Sentinel has not really been very impressive in this shell. Often you're casting a 1-drop and a 2-drop, and you're not usually blowing up into a 4-drop. It's just not happening that often. So I haven't found this to be very useful. You're usually wanting to hold up mana for interaction anyway. This doesn't really block anything well. I just don't think it does that much in this particular shell. We're just going to go ahead and do that. But this thing has been pretty good, and when it flips, it's a significant threat, which I like a lot. Obviously, our weakness is going to be to decks like the Scoot Swarm deck, which this deck just cannot beat functionally. They just wait till turn 6 and play a Scoot Swarm in a land, and you can't ever kill 2 creatures in the turn realistically, and you just eat shit and die. It's not great. I wonder if Prival Adversary should go in here somewhere, but I don't really know what you would take out for it. Something to consider for future. For decks that have lots and lots and lots of removal, we've got Snakeskin Veils. For decks with Cadillacs, we have the Outland Liberator. For decks with more creatures we need to remove, or Planeswalkers in particular, we've got the Devouring Tendrils. For the flying threats, we've got Tangle Traps. Honestly, I think I want another Tangle Trap. I don't think we need this many Liberators, but Tangle Trap has been... kills the big blue dragon, kills the 4/4, the Moonlight Regent, which everyone's playing now. We probably just want 4 of those, honestly. And a couple Battle Mammoths, again, just for the heavy removal decks to act as a, additional card draw. Because the deck can run out of gas. We do not have all the card draw engines. We've got Ranger Class and Werewolf Pack Leader, and that's kind of it. And if they kind of kill a creature a turn as we play, we're probably going to die. So there's that deck. And then the one we did recently, which was the Tempo Izzet deck, which I like. And then we have Mono Black Control, which I really don't know how this works out. I haven't seen anyone play it. I've pulled this list in part from Twitter, and it seems interesting, but again, I haven't seen it in actual play, so I don't really know how it works. I guess the idea is make lots of tokeny things with the Witch, slowly wean your opponent down with Meat Hook Massacre and little, pings here and there, and then just Massacre for the win. Massacre at 2 and Blood at 4 does seem like reasonable ways to deal with the Cadillac, but you probably want 3 Meat Hooks in the main, to be honest. I think we have 1 on the side. Yeah. And then we got Life Gain for more Bernie strategies, and Duresses, which should probably just be check for traps at this point. And the standard lesson package here. I don't think you ever need 2 environmental silences. If you're casting 2 environmental silences, you're probably losing. Let's throw one of those Skyclaves in there too. So you have targeted removal, some discard, and a couple more sweepers. I could see having another Soul Shatter in there too. We don't have a lot of ways to kill Planeswalkers. I think 7 sweepers is enough. Since you are not here, and I am, there's no way I can interact with you to find out which of these I should try. So, let's see, this is 2,000 gold. If you get 2 wins at least, you kind of get your stake back. If you get more than that, it gets progressively more gooder. What are we going to choose? These are the 2 I'm most interested in trying. I guess I'll try Golgari mid. It is most of my style. And being that this is a really minimal amount of investment, don't really care that much about the result. If we do lose on the first one, though, we're just going to play a few more games to this deck to see how it goes. We have an Innkeeper and a Dispute to potentially accelerate us. It seems okay. It's not great. We'd like a we'd like one of our 1-drops, obviously. probably mono green. Yep. Getting all this land is good for us. So we're probably just blocking with this and disputing. Got all the mana we need for our Blood in the Snow already. Snowland short, which is unfortunate. We could play Valky for his other side if we wait a turn, right? So we'll have the red. And I don't think it's worth it. I think we just jam it. Okay, so we do have a Wren. Got Blizzard Brawl incoming. Wren always difficult to deal with. We don't have any way to ever get rid of Ranger class, which puts us on a definite clock. Not until we get a binding. I guess an Eye Twitch could get us a containment as well. Now we activate Ranger, draw a free card. Oh, right, it already powers it up. That's nice. Sure. So probably got Wren next turn. We're just going to meat hook for a bunch. Nothing he has for... He could have a Snakeskin Veil, so I guess we do 4. I don't know if we want to use our treasures for that, though. I think 3 is fine. If he has Snakeskin Veil, we do get punished a little, but we are going to have to Blood on the Snow next turn anyway. We are kind of flooding out here a little bit. Yep.
From root to canopy, the trees are mighty.
So do we Blood on the Snow the Wren? Or do we Blood on the Snow the creature? I guess we have to Blood on the Snow the Wren. Pretty unfortunate.
We are wilting.
Really need to draw some action here. Kind of running out of reasonable plays to make. Okay, at least it's not another Wren immediately, so that's good. Just gonna take this hit, force him to use his interaction, or we're gonna steal the old growth troll. Yep. Well, folks, I mean, if all you do is draw land, there's not really much game I can play, huh? Not really much game I can play. I do not need your commentary, Tofu. I don't. It doesn't help. You don't know what you're talking about. Uh-huh. Yes, it's very large. I had just not drawn anything significant. We're just like dying to Lair of the Hydra now. Just like land every turn, man. Land every turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have enough for the other side of Valky. But we have to Blood in the Snow. What the hell? Why will this not let me cast it the way I want to cast it? Want to leave enough to activate the damn Haven. Yeah. You can now become an old growth troll. He's got infinite draws off of his ranger class. If he attacks with Lair, we could also just double block. Fuck. Or he could just draw another run in 7 and just top 15 cards and we could lose.
Those who harm us destroy that every seed contains great potential.
Why would you do that? Okay. Well, we have to kill the Ren, unfortunately. As much as it would be nice to be able to kill the Ranger class. Not have that option.
Even in defeat, we grow.
And... probably double blocking the Lair. Yep. Should have destroyed the Lair with our Field of Ruin. I kind of saw it too late, like right as I was activating the Field of Ruin. I'm like, oh wait, they have a Lair. That's unfortunate. Holy shit, dude. Drawn like almost every land in the deck, feels like. I haven't drawn a single Planeswalker. And there's 7 of them in the deck. 7. Man, he just immediately drew another Lair. What an absolute fucking stud this guy is. What the fuck is this? How does that work? That's very confusing. He had another one? Of course he did. So we're just dead to the Lair now. This draw has been so bad. Let's see here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, we got one more chump and then we lose. This guy has just drawn absolutely everything he needed to, like, perfectly. He needed both layers. Just constantly fueling up with creatures. 2 Wrens. We've drawn awfully, like, just profoundly badly. So we have to block here because he could have Inscription. Oh, because that's lethal by itself. Sure. So if he has Inscription, we're dead anyway. You stop slow rolling it? Yeah. Okay, so let's bring in our removal. Valky didn't seem too impressive there. We could trim Eye Twitch. Need to make another trim. I guess Shambling Goss doesn't really do much in this matchup either. The creatures are too big for it to be relevant. Gosh, that was a bad draw. Well, we'll try this again after we go 0-1. Still running the Sentinels, huh? So we got Binding. Fight one of the Shambling Goss. God damn, double Ranger Splash again, huh? Sure. Make a treasure. Binding a target just to accelerate us. I think we are. So we've got Blood in the Snow if we want next turn. Yeah, we're gonna have to draw something from there. This deck is kind of the litmus test for the format. Like, if your deck can't beat this deck, it's probably not playable. I don't know that we can definitively say that this can't beat that after only one play. But, you know, we do draw bad on this show. It is the name of the show. Sure. entirely too much land, folks. Drew Planeswalker. See if this changes things.
Speak your plan. The trees can fight their own battles.
Of course, if they just drop Ren here, we probably lose. Unless we draw another Blood in the Snow.
Those who harm the forest destroy the gifts nature grows. The entire forest is an army.
Would any of y'all at home like to know what the title of the show is again? It's Bad Luck, Good Game, for those of you following along at home. What? Did he fuck up? Yeah, he fucked up. So there's no way we can stop it from killing the Ren. But that's fine.
Our fire must not escape.
Binding this, kill their Ren.
Failure burns within us.
Nobody doesn't have a fight spell here. They all have the same mana value, so doesn't really matter. Well, that's about how it goes in this show, folks. We did not really get to do anything, but that tends to be how it goes on this show. We went 0-1. I don't know if there's anything we could have done differently. I don't think there is. Like, we just saw one Planeswalker in 2 very long games, and there's nothing you can do to improve upon bad luck. All you can do is make the best decisions at every point of the curve that you can, and if you're us, you will still lose, because our luck transcends variance in the negative direction. Really anything we can do about it. Okay, so we know what this is. Let's go ahead and play with fire. Or the 1 mana bounce spell. Poppet Stitcher? Weird. Huh. Burn down the house. I know it's definitely more fun to win and to see people win. But Magic is not a game of skill. Magic is a game of luck. So as much as I'd love to be able to improve upon my performance, I cannot really. Playing a bunch of stuff for him to hit with burn down the house, I guess. So we've got Lolth, but that does not play well into this. It kind of pins us to the ground, actually. It's a pretty good card. Man, we haven't drawn any of our card draw things in any of these matches either. We haven't drawn our Planeswalkers reliably. This is a deck that feels like it's supposed to have the Skull Port, isn't it? But it does not. Really just wants the Planeswalker to do a thing, and then Blood in the Snow and cast the Planeswalker again. If you don't hit that pattern, you're kind of screwed. Yep, so we can cast Lolth. Make two things, doesn't matter. Just fire up Lair of the Hydra. Three, I think. Nothing else for us to do that's really productive. Okay, now we can play our Planeswalker because there's no reason he'd want to sweep both of his creatures. Although now he has counter mana up.
With terror. Exquisite. My power is for annihilation.
Now we're pretty okay with him just wiping the board. At least he loses something too. Man, all our draws have felt awkward. Maybe this deck just isn't it. This is definitely another like pillar of the format kind of matchup. So now we're going to have to meat hook.
Oh, you'll fall into my web again.
Yeah, this does not look like a winnable game, and our opponent is playing incredibly slowly. Like, painfully slowly. Seems like this just ain't it. Seems like this just ain't it. Ugh. Yeah, this just ain't it, folks. And all we do is draw land. Only 24 land in this deck. At every game we played, yeah, we've already drawn 9 of them in 13 cards. Every game we played, we have flooded. Kind of ridiculous. Let's see, 24 land, 36 other. 13 cards drawn, 9 land, 4 other. The odds of that are
5,166,863,427,600,
or 1.5%. Yeah, just infinite card draw. Nothing we can do here. This deck just does not seem like it has anything it can do. Does not seem like the tool for the job. Shambling Ghost, not doing anything in this matchup. Probably go down 1 Meat Hook. And go up Soul Shatter. Wow. Really living up to the title of this show. If you're wondering why the show is called Bad Luck, Good Game, I've been playing the game for a very long time, and I'd say I've had average luck in a lot of times playing in paper, but since I started playing in Arena, like the Scrybugs and the Floods and the Screws and the extremely improbable things that have happened while recording, it painted a very different picture. And as much as I like the game and think it's a good game in a lot of regards, my luck almost makes it so that I can't play it, that it is unplayable for me. I'm just not sure what can change that. Short of reincarnation? Maybe then. Annoying. Let's exile some things. So now we're going to get mana screwed. Wow. I don't play this game for me, folks. I play it for you. Said you can experience catharsis at my awful luck. The odds of this hand are
75,394,027,566.
If you wonder where I'm getting these numbers, I'm using the deculator, which when you put in your card parameters and calculate the chances, will give you your percentages out of all the possible combinations of hands. This is roughly 11%. 11%. It's probably gone up now that we just drew another not land. Oh, this is so gross. Change the parameters. 7.6%. Going in the wrong direction, folks. If you weren't watching it right now, would you believe it? 5%. I should never do any tournaments on this client that
1,399,358,844,975.
Because I'm just, quite frankly, I'm just not allowed to play. Another frostbite. Another frostbite was the card he drew everybody. Another frostbite. Yeah. This will give them the land, they'll activate both eggs, and then our entire board is toast. Yep. Yep. So if we hit a land, we can binding one of the eggs. We're just dying to the poppet now. We got Soul Shatter next turn. We need to draw like our one of Meat Hook. That doesn't do it. I don't think there's anything we can do to get out of this now. Draw's just been too bad for too long. And he immediately had to have egg when we had our Skyclave draw. It's just like fucking abysmal. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I don't draw the cards. I just play them. And it seems like we can't get any wins with this deck. I'm gonna quit there before I cry, and I'd rather not do that on stream. So this has been Gravity Groove for Bad Luck. Good game, and hopefully you've been entertained by watching how little agency I have playing the game. Like, submit decks to me that you think we'll get 7 wins. Submit all the decks that have gotten 7 wins. I won't get one. Guaranteed. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching. If you've liked the content, please consider liking, subscribing, or leaving a comment down below like Bad Luck. And maybe we'll see you again sometime. Boom.